We should be live, King.
Okay. Talk to the people.
What'd you say?
You know, Gator, you know what I love about this show?
What about it?
You know, Gator?
Tell me. Tell
And
me
you
what
can
you
clip
love.
this if you want. You could clip
Show
this
your
if you
face
want.
and we gonna clip it.
My face, is my face not up?
No.
My face should be up. My camera's on right now on mine.
What's it doing that? It's weird. Oh, there we go. We're good. We're good.
I'm up there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You know what I love about this show, Gator?
What about it?
What I love about this show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aside from any show, the sports world is finally connected. We're finally one. We're no longer arguing sports in the barbershop with whomever is in our vicinities. We're no longer arguing sports on the block or on the porch or in whatever town, city, or state we live in, whatever edge of the earth you live on. We're no longer arguing sports according to our longitude and latitude, according to our cornices, according to where we live. We get to argue sports we get to connect with the sports world in one place to talk sports, argue sports. The weight of the sports world is finally all in one place to talk sports, debate, whether it's debate just to talk about it, have a good time. It's therapeutic. We love to do it. We all love to talk sports. We are finally now connected as one. And that's what I love about it. And I have a couple very important meetings today. Yes, I am one of the CEOs. Gator, the other fine gentleman on this screen, is another one of the CEOs. However, as a CEO, I'm treating the show, not all the time, but a lot of times it's going to happen. I'm treating the show like how I want you all to treat the show. If you're ripping and running, still join the show. Still join the Discord. Still get on the show. Still watch it. Still listen to it on your AirPods, on your Dre Beats headphones, in case you want to get in on the show. You will go on the Discord and you'll be in on the show wherever you are. I have coaches meetings today. Got things to do today, but I'm here. I'm on the show. So I'm going, I'm enjoying some sports talk, man. That's what I love about the show. Very unique. Very unique, Gator.
Tell them who we are. Tell YouTube for the first time who we are, King.
Welcome, YouTube family, YouTube world, YouTube space. We are the UnderBigDogs. Matter of fact, let me correct that. We all are the UnderBigDogs. Not just me, not just Gator. We all, you, everybody who loves sports, who loves to talk about sports, are all under big dogs, man. And that's what I love about this platform is that everybody who loves to talk sports, yes, in terms of analysis, sports analysis, giving your take, breaking down sports, to the nitty gritty, getting to the dirt and the grime and the mud of each and every sport topic that we talk about. It takes knowing your sport. It takes being savvy in that sport, whether it's football or basketball. However, we know what we're talking about too. The folks that we watch on TV are not the only ones that know sports. The sports world's the fans. We know sports too. So, therefore, this is our show. We're underdogs in this sports analysis world, but it don't mean we don't know what we're talking about. It don't mean that we not some big dogs. It don't mean that we not some Great Danes, some Pit Bulls, some Bulldogs, some Dobermans, right?
We got some
It
good
don't mean
takes on
that.
here. We got some good takes, man.
Really good take. So, under big dogs, underdogs, yet we're big. So that's the plan. That's the gist, man. Underdogs, yet we are big. Period. Under big dogs, man. So welcome. We are all under big dogs. Let's talk sports. Let's open up this sports world. Let's get everybody connected. Stop playing. This is a grandiose breakthrough ever. This is innovative. What this is about to do for sports is about to be amazing. So Gator, without further ado, let's get into it, man. What's our first? What we talking about?
We just got the news. We start, if you're new to
Start off.
YouTube
Start
or
off.
have never seen our stream, we just start off with quick news that we run through in the beginning of every podcast just to get the juices flowing. So, and give everybody some news around if you didn't see see what went on over the weekend. So this kind of just news on the weekend. Kareem Hunt is visiting the Saints. I don't know how that would work. They drafted a rookie. I
Heard
mean,
about that.
I could see him fitting in there, but should they? I don't know. I think they got to. I like the rookie they drafted, so I think they should just keep the two they got. But who knows? How you feel about that? You think he'd be a good fit? Quick little take on that.
Honestly, I definitely do think he'll be a good fit.
Yeah,
Honestly, I
kind of like
definitely
what they
think he'll
did
be
with
a good
Mark
fit.
Ingram.
What did they do with Mark Ingram?
No, I'm saying kind of like when it was Kamara and Ingram.
Oh, no. I mean, well, I like it. I like it as a good fit because Jamal Williams is great and all, but he's no workhorse back where you could just only rely on him to, help you sustain drives. You got Kamara out for 3 weeks. Even when Kamara comes back, I love the signing. You got a rookie who you drafted who clearly is not doing things in camp, and hopefully he'll be good down the line, but he's clearly not doing things this camp to make them feel comfortable enough to not sign Kareem Hunt or to not look for another piece to bring in. Because if he was showing that he was a breakout back, if he was doing Damian Pierce type things in training camp, there would be no discussions around whether or not the Saints is looking for another running back or not. So we know he's not doing those things. Jamal Williams is not good enough to be the only back in your backfield to sustain drives. And Kamara's out 3 weeks. Even when Kamara gets back, that three-headed monster would be perfect. At the end of the day, Kamara's at tail in his career as far as high-level production goes. So you bring in a guy like Jamal Williams, who's a thumper. You bring in a Kareem Hunt, who's just an electric back who can rip off 8 yards like it's nothing. Just electric. Kamara's still that explosive guy, big play guy. So you got a big play guy, you got a thumper, and then you got an in-between guy. So, yeah, this perfect. I love it. And I love that they're going Kareem Hunt. They're looking at Kareem Hunt over a guy like a Zeke or Leonard Fournette or any one of those kind of players that are still out there. Dalvin Cook, if I will, because they know exactly what they need and what they want. And so, and I think Kareem Hunt is a great fit.
Where does that leave? Where do you think that leaves their rookie they drafted, Kendre Miller? They dropped him in the third round. I feel like the running if they did that, the running back room was just full at that point.
I think where that leaves him is, all right, you got some work to do.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
You're not
Fair enough.
You're not that great yet. Obviously, I mean, you had a whole 3 weeks of camp so far to make them feel comfortable enough to not go out look for another guy.
Fair enough.
So
next thing of big news. It's not really big news. It's kind of common sense, but it was announced, so I'm just gonna say it. C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young are getting the official starts to their preseason game this week. So it looks like they will be getting maybe a full quarter or two in this week. Both coaches already declared they are going to start in the first preseason game. So we are going to see them this week. I'm very, very, very excited. If that's more of like an exciting news, I cannot wait to see them play in the NFL.
that is actually very interesting. That I didn't know. I thought they would maybe hold them, another week.
Yeah.
But why not? I love it. Why not right out the gun? They're rookies. They need all the work they can possibly get before going into the season because both these organizations, they already came out and said it. they want to have good seasons this season. They're not at this phase where they're like, oh, they're like, we're building and they don't have that approach. Though their roster says they're still building, the mentality is win now. And so what better way to get that going than to start your QB1s right off rip? They're rookies. You got to get them acclimated as quickly as possible if you realistically want to win now this season. So, yeah, I dare say play all preseason games, maybe except the last one. Play like the first quarter of all preseason games.
Fair enough.
How about you?
We're gonna talk a lot about CJ Stroud today because we're talking about the AFC South. So I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but I'm just excited. I like the idea. You always risk the injuries with that in the preseason, but we don't expect much out of these two teams anyway. So I like the idea. Get them as much playing time as possible. I'm just more excited to watch them play because I loved watching them in college. So I just can't wait. Next bit of news is we kind of talked a little bit about this last week. Actually, the Big 12 keeps adding additions. College football, and we might have to have a big talk on this on another show. College football is changing. It is not going to be the same college football we know anymore. The divisions are changing. I think schools are getting tired of this nonsense of like if we're in the Pac-12. We not getting bids for the national title and the rankings and stuff. Teams want to play the best schools now. The Big 12 added Utah and Arizona State now. Arizona State and Utah they don't get many top 4 bids, but they are added into the Big 12 now, along with the 2 that we talked about last week, Oregon and Washington, I believe it was. What you think about that?
I'll let you start. You're a college aficionado, so I'll defer to you on this.
I kind of said a little bit about it already. It's just college football is changing. I think they're finally realizing, look, we got to play better. If we want high rankings, we got to play better competition. We can't just be beating up on these Pac-12 defenses, these no-name schools. We have to play Ohio State. We have to play Michigan. We have to play Penn State year and year and year and year to get better as a program. Right. I think you're going to see this more too. I think you're going to start seeing teams coming to the SEC. I don't think there's any 10-team conferences anymore. They're going to split up and join. The Big 12 has 16 teams now. 16 teams. It's going to be fun.
Wow.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, look, I'm all for that. That's just a part of doing business. Like at the end of the day, we love the sport. We love college football. We love the college atmosphere, the traditions. When these kids, go up against rival schools and the bands are playing the same song that's been prevalent at their school for over hundreds of years. Like we love everything about college sports. At the end of the day, before those kids step on in between those lines, business needs to be done. And so everybody is just making moves because Oregon in the Big Ten, that just don't even sound right. Just Oregon has always been to me, in my lifetime at least, only 32
12,
years
Big
old.
12, so, sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, Big 12. They don't seem to me. I actually did think they were in the Big 10. Okay. Big 12 does sound a little like their speed. Even though I would still kind of have to get used to that, but Big 12 has a nice pace of play to their conference. Like the Pac-12 is just, we know, is just, run up the score, and may the better man wins. Very little defense is played in Pac-12, but Big 12, there's like you got that healthy combination of high pace play and a little bit of defense. So yeah, I mean, I could see that fit for them. But yeah, like I was saying, I mean, everybody's business-wise, all of these universities business-wise is doing what is best for them. And I mean, can we blame them? We just can't blame them. We flat out cannot blame them.
Yeah, so we
And
got.
so at the end of the day, yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean,
Yeah, I got
I just.
confused a little bit. So Oregon and Washington are going to the Big Ten.
Oh,
You
so I was right.
no, well, you was it Oregon? Hold on. The teams
'Cause
we talked about yesterday. Let me get this correct first.
yeah, yeah. Why you look at that? Yeah, at the end of the day, I just want to see him. I just want to see like the tradition is going to stay the same. The the bands are still going to be playing the same songs. The seats are still going to have butts in them. They're still going to be going absolutely bonkers inside of those stadiums. So at the end of the day, it's still going to be that college feel, that college atmosphere, no matter what business is done behind the scenes. It's just business, and that's all. That's how I look at it. And yeah, it's an interesting dynamic to see teams go to other conferences and how they'll adjust to those other conferences, but they'll adjust.
Yeah, I don't even
They'll
know. I
adjust.
don't know what the Pac-12 looks seems to me it's going to be abolished. I don't. That's four teams gone from it. So Oregon and Washington are going to the Big Ten with Ohio State and Michigan, and Arizona. I mean, not Arizona. Who did I just say? Utah and Arizona State are going to the Big 12 to play like with the likes of Temple and all those schools. So that's what it's
Okay.
looking like right now. So Pac-12 is they're realizing it's not going to work over here anymore. We gotta. I wonder where that leaves USC. It's gonna be interesting. USC, Stanford. What do they make their own conference? It's gonna be interesting. So, and the last bit of news we have today is this is actually a little funny one. I want to get your little take on this. Viking fans signed a N'Keal Harry, former first round pick from the New England Patriots. Didn't do much really with Tom Brady and the Pats, but fans aren't happy about the signing, not because of N'Keal Harry's skill set, because he's decided to wear the number 28. How do you feel about that, King? Is that disrespectful?
The 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 Vikings picked up N'Keal Harry,
Yeah, and he's gonna wear number 28.
and 28 was AP. Oh. Uh,
How do you feel about that?
well,
It's just a little
it's hard.
funny.
It's hard because you know the direction I'm gonna go, and so I love the fact that this is our own show. And I mean, they do this on television as well. They do this on television as well. So you got a couple of guys on television who speaks their mind. So I'm not going to say on television it's completely washed up, but I love that this is our own show because we actually get to speak our mind. There is no reason whatsoever, that that's probably your best, well, definitely your best running back of all time in your organization.
100%.
He's definitely a top three, at least top three player, top two. Because I know there had to be a Viking somewhere in there. I'm not remembering his name. I want to say he played on the defensive line, who was an all time great player also. But outside of that name that I'm thinking about, this dude is probably your best franchise player ever. And so the direction I'm gonna go, man. It's just another example where owners get to do what they want. And do I just leave it at that?
I kind of agree with you, and normally I wouldn't when it comes to something like that. I really don't put the blame too much on N'Keal Harry, but he should know better. I think that is a little disrespectful to. But why isn't AP's jersey retired yet? It's gonna happen at one. Why can't we just speed this process up? He's one of the greatest. He's the greatest Viking to ever play the game. Besides maybe a few back in the day. His number should be retired already. No one on that. No one. That management and ownership should not allow anybody to be
That's what I'm
wearing that
saying.
number anymore.
Before it even gets retired, where's the respect?
Yeah.
Like straight up, even with N'Keal Harry. I mean, like just did maybe he called AP? Did he call AP? If AP
Yeah, I
maybe
might
if
have
he
to do
called
some
AP,
research on this, but
yeah, if he
so far
called
the news
AP,
on it, I didn't see anything like that. Apparently, he just was like, "I'm wearing 28." So I could be wrong. I might have more information for you guys on the next show, but He's wearing number 28 as of right now, so Vikings fans were not too happy about that. But
Okay.
yeah, let's get into the main topics. And the main topping point of the show today, we are doing a division a day until we're done doing the divisions, and then we'll figure something else out. But that we're focusing on the divisions in football right now. We're very excited for the NBA season to start again, so we could get more topics for the NBA for you guys. But right now, we're just sticking to football during this NBA offseason that we got, and
Oh,
with the
oh, we love
preseason.
football.
Yeah, no, of course.
We ain't about that.
Of course, of course. I'm just giving the viewers an idea of what's going to be coming up in the future. I can't wait for the NBA and the NFL we have not had this podcast is relatively new, so we have not had a time where we consistently talked about sports through a full season of play. And it's going to be interesting when I'm very excited to when the NBA season starts, where we have a lot of topics from both sports that are in the everyday podcast. But NBA offseason, so we stick it to the divisions right now. And we got the AFC South today. To me, this is the most boring division. But the South in both sides is just never very good.
For the
I
AFC
don't
South.
know why. The AFC South and the NFC South, they just recently have just been god awful. I, I mean the Buck once Tom Brady left, and once Tom Brady, well, he retired last year, but over after the Super Bowl, after Tampa won the Super Bowl, it's been kind of dry, these two divisions. So, um, so who you got? Who you got? Let me you start first. Let me hear your rankings before we get dive deeper into it.
What are we doing?
AFC
AFC
South.
South.
Yeah, you got the Texans, Titans, Colts, Jags.
We have. I'm gonna go sit there and I'm gonna give. I'm gonna give. This is tough.
Yeah, it is tough.
Because Doug Peterson is also a great coach, and so I want to give the nod to great coaching, a great coaching staff in Mike Vrabel in the crew. But Doug Peterson is also a great coach and also has a great coaching staff over there. Has the way better quarterback, has the way better receiving room, has the better offense for sure. Mm,
It's
this
tough.
is tough. This is tough, but I'm going to go with both the Titans and the Jaguars both making the playoffs this year. So
Wow.
I'll go with that. Um, I'm gonna go offense. I'm gonna go with the Jags finishing in first place in the division. I'm gonna trust that Trevor Lawrence takes a step forward, another step forward, that he plays like the elite quarterback that we all now believe that he is. And with the new additions of Calvin Ridley in the receiving group, a Tank in the backfield and Tank Bigsby, along with the electrifying Travis Etienne, and then when you couple that with Zay, wide receiver, Zay Jones, and already there, what's his name, Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk.
Did you say Calvin Ridley too is back?
Of course.
Okay.
And so when you think about that, with Doug Peterson running the show, the man who has a statue in Philadelphia, I'm gonna just give him the edge. I'm gonna give him the edge. I'm gonna give him the edge, and then I'll go Tennessee, After that, this is also tough
Yeah, I agree.
because you got two rookie quarterbacks. Who's going to have the better season? Who's going to win more now? I guess that all depends on if Anthony Richardson is starting from week one. I guess it also depends on if CJ Stroud is starting week one, which he should be, which they both should be. Let's think. We got Colts got the better backfield, assuming Jonathan Taylor suits up week one. Colts have the better receiving core with Michael Pittman, and the young man that they drafted this past draft, and they also have Alec Pierce, who they drafted not this past draft, but draft before. So I really love their receiving core. Fast, good hands, great players. Defensively, don't know really what they are. I know they still have their two top dogs. I forget their names, but one is on the D line and one is playing linebacker. So I know they still got those two dogs there. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Colts. I'm leaning Colts because I'm going culture. Over there in Houston, you still have a head coach who we believe is going to do a fine job. But I think everything that Houston has been for the entirety of their franchise has been so bad, sad to say, that it's going to take time for this coach to actually implement, his culture top to bottom, get everybody walking in the corners according to his ways, how he thinks, how he operates, what's how it looks to win. I just think it's going to take time. I also think for CJ Stroud, there's a huge learning curve coming as well. When you got Anthony Richardson, who, when you're mobile like that, it makes the game so much easier. And so I just think they're going to be able to compile more wins than Houston this year, just because, simply because they're ahead of the curve right now, in terms of, doing what it takes to win ball games in the National Football League. So that's what I'm gonna go with. That's my four. That's my top four.
I agree with you. I'll start from the bottom. I'm actually gonna go Colts last. I think CJ Stroud is gonna really turn that franchise around. I think he's gonna do it quick. I actually like the offensive players they have over there. So like
Nico Collins, name him.
Nico Collins, John Mechie is going to be playing this year, the second round draft pick out of Alabama. He's good for training camp. They said he's looked good, and I like their running backs. I like Dameon Pierce. So I like Dameon Pierce a lot. He was the bright spot for their team. I'm not too sure how good their O line is. I'm really not educated enough about their O line. But just the players that they have on offense are all playmakers, and I think CJ Stroud is going to elevate them. I think he's more pro ready than Bryce Young is. I think I think Bryce Young is the better prospect, but I think CJ Stroud is the most NFL ready quarterback that was drafted this year. I think he's going to come in and play very well very quickly. So I don't know what's going on with the Colts. I don't even know if they start Anthony Richardson right away. So I don't know what they're doing. And with this Jonathan Taylor news now, I really don't know what's going on with them. They were bad last year. I don't think they got much better in the offseason besides drafting Anthony Richardson. So I'm not sure how much they have 4 or 5 wins last year. I don't know how much better they could play. So I think they're going to take actually a little step back while Houston is going to take a step forward.
Mm-hmm.
just in my opinion. I think it's very
Okay.
close at the bottom. I think it could be a game or two off, But
Yep.
I like Houston better. I just like Houston better. I like the offensive weapons they got a little better than besides Jonathan Taylor. Okay, we know that dude's a bad man, but I like Michael Pittman too. I guess. I don't know. I just think I really believe in. I think it's maybe more so. I really believe in C.J. Stroud. So I'll put them at 3. I'll put the Texans at 4, and I agree with you at the top. The Jags are were one of the hottest teams in football going into the playoffs. They probably should have lost that game to the Chargers. They pulled it off though, and the Jags got better.
Mm-hmm.
The addition of Calvin Ridley is massive. Like I don't think people like truly understand like what he's gonna do to that offense, and the attention that he's gonna take. And then they still got Travis Etienne. They drafted a running back too, right? Didn't the Jags draft a running back as well?
I said Tank Big. That's
Yeah, yeah, Tank Bigsby. Yeah, they got weapons all across the board on that team. You got Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, um, Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk is a formidable. They paid him like a wide receiver one because they had to bring people into Jacksonville, and it worked because people want to play for them now. People, so whatever they did, they overspent for their guys. I think in offseason ago, and everybody was clowning them for it. It worked. Whatever they did worked because people want to play there now. People want to play there now. So their defense is what's concerning, but I think that in that division, because we're just talking about the division, like winning in the playoffs is a different story. It's a different conversation that we're gonna have a little later. But if we're talking about just the division, their offense is gonna be enough to win games in that division. It is. The offenses are not very good over there, so their defense isn't gonna have to play a a tier one game where they have to keep a team under 20. Like I think Trevor Lawrence and company they're gonna be scoring 30 points against the teams in that division. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they might have some trouble against Tennessee because of Mike Variable. Um, but I got Tennessee finishing second. There's too many question marks on that team. They do have players on defense. They're good defensively. They're going to play well. You think times I just don't know. I don't know what time Ryan Tannehill. I don't know how it's gonna go. I just don't know how it's gonna go. How long can this Ryan Tannehill era last in Tennessee? I got them finishing second, and I truly believe, and that's actually the next question. So I'll jump right into it. I truly
Mm-hmm.
believe only one team from this division makes the playoffs because of how stacked the AFC is, and I'll start this one. So the question is, will only one team make the AFC? Will make like will the division winner only make the playoffs in this? And I'm gonna say yes, because the AFC is so stacked. It's just so stacked from top to bottom. I just don't see a scenario like at all where another team in that division squeaks in. I think the division winner in this. I think the division winner in this division gets 10 wins. I don't think they get 11 wins. I so
Wow.
it's just such a weird division. I think because of how stacked the AFC is, I just don't see another team from this division getting in. Um, I'll say, yeah, I just don't. I'm trying to make a case for the Titans or the whoever I think is gonna finish second. If it was in the AFC, three of them could possibly make it, but not this year. Now with how stacked the AFC is. I mean, I can name 7 maybe teams that can make the playoffs in the AFC. Outside of that division, it's just sick. So I think I think the division winner will be the 7th seed, meaning I think the 6 teams. I think the division winner, the team that makes the playoffs in this division, will be the worst team going into the playoffs. The worst AFC team going into the playoffs. That might be a hot take, but I think whoever wins this division will be the worst team that makes the playoffs in the AFC.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that because at the end of the day, these AFC teams are gonna just be punching each other in the face, man. All season long, they're gonna just be, you know, delivering losses to one another week in and week out, always leaving the door open for a team in a weaker division to still have a shot. That's what happened last year. There was no reason whatsoever. Jacksonville seemed down and out last year.
They won the division though.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is they seemed down and out. They were in a weaker division. So we got to keep in mind a team, somebody, right, in this division is going to make the playoffs.
What do you mean by down and out? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Had a bad, just all season long, just they were piling losses on all season long. Obviously, yeah, they turned it around,
Yeah.
started winning.
They won 6 out of their last 7 games.
Right. They turned
Yeah.
it around, started winning. But when you have a division like this, where, excuse me, a conference like this, where you have the Ravens, Bengals, and Browns all with with dare I say Super Bowl aspirations, all in one division. When you have teams like the Chiefs, Chargers,
That division's
Broncos,
sick too.
Chargers, Broncos, all in the same division, who all have championship aspirations, playoff at the least aspirations. When you have conferences who have Bills, Patriots, Jets,
Dolphins.
Dolphins in one division, you with all championship aspirations, it just leaves the door open. It just does, and that's what's going to happen yet again this season, where we're going to be seeing teams, because teams in conferences got to play each other twice. We're going to see teams in weaker conferences pile up wins. Dare I say, when they go up against big matchups in the AFC, like for example, if Titans go up against, the Bengals week 12 and beat the Bengals, I'm not going to I'm not going to raise an eyebrow and be like, oh yeah,
Let me
Titans could
ask you a question
beat the.
about your point there. So you're right. They could beat each other up, but can we make a point that in this season there's just too many teams to beat up? What I mean by this is, I would say I could make a case for every team in the AFC to make the playoffs except for the AFC South. I mean, if I go through the list, I can make a case for the Patriots making the playoffs, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the
By make a case, what do you mean? Because of course you could make a
I think
case.
all 12. So in 4 division, in the other 3 divisions, I think there's a very good chance all 4 of those teams could make the playoffs. Except me, I don't have the same feeling maybe about the Patriots. That might be the only team. Like the Browns, the Steelers, Bengals, Ravens can all make the playoffs. Bills, Jets, Dolphins can all make the playoffs. Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers can all make the playoffs. I think there's just too many teams that I can't make a case in the South. Let's be nice and say only 2 teams from each division make the playoffs. It still only leaves 1 in the South. It's tough.
Well,
It's tough. But make that case. Go ahead. Make that case for the Titans.
No, because what I'm getting at is, when you got teams in great divisions playing each other multiple times in a
Yeah, the
season,
losses are gonna pile up.
it's gonna pile up, and it's gonna leave no open. That's just what's naturally going to happen. This the numbers game is going to leave the window open. It's going to, you're going to have the Titans, maybe sitting at 6-5, and then you got a team like the Chargers, who we think, yes, is better than the Titans, but because they got to play the Chiefs and then they got to turn around, play the Broncos, who has a new regime, and then the Raiders is no slouch. You sitting there and they're sitting at 6-5 also, and then now we're looking at it like, whoa, and if Jacksonville's 8-3 because they're just doing what we think that offense is capable of, and they're sitting at 8-3. But Titans are sitting at 6-5. But the Chargers are also sitting at 6-5. Then now we're in a situation where it's just like Titans might start all right, hold on, we got a chance here. Our schedule moving forward is weaker than theirs. Let's get in there. Let's do this. Let's turn. So that's the AFC is just redonkulous, bro. And the survival of the mother loving fittest, according to the rules and the nature of the NFL, it will be the teams that make it to the playoffs. Because unfortunately, the NFL is division led. Like, so it's not going to matter. The best teams, put it like this, and I'll end it by saying this, because this will be true. This will, in fact, be true. The best teams in the AFC will not all be in the playoffs.
I agree. That's like that every year. There's always a division. There's usually always a
So then,
division.
what are you talking about? This whole
What I'm saying
you
is
understand?
what I'm saying is there enough for you're gonna be right because it's good. Like I don't know if 3 teams from the AFC East make it. I don't know if all 3 of those Super Bowl contending teams make it because they might beat each other up. Let's say 2 out of the 3 make it. Let's say the Bengals and the Ravens make it in the East. I mean, in the other division, and let's say the Chiefs and the Chargers make it. That's 6 teams. We're looking for one more now, and it would just come from the South. And do you think 6-5? Like you said, let's say the Titans are sitting at 6-5 in the middle of the season. Do you think that 6-5 team? Do you think the Titans would be leading the division at that point with a 6-5 record, or do you think somebody's going to have a better record than them at that point?
I would say the Jacksonville Jaguars would probably be 8-3 at the time. Yeah, I
Wow,
wouldn't be surprised. Jaguars.
you're high. You're high. You're
I
that
wouldn't.
high on the Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm high on Trevor
Yeah,
Lawrence. I can't lie.
I no, I
I
am too. I am too.
I was fighting. I was fighting it for a minute, but in that division, I'm high. What I'm saying, I'm high on Trevor Lawrence in this retrospect. One, that he's going to be a phenomenal quarterback. When he was a freshman in Clemson, I knew he was going to be phenomenal. But then when his career in Clemson didn't seem like it was on an upcline, it more so just seemed like it was kind of just going, flatline. It was like why is he not getting better? And then when he became an NFL player, and I seen the gradual positive, that's when I started to realize, oh, it was Clemson's coaching staff. Just straight up, like it was the reason why Trevor Lawrence wasn't looking like how Peyton looked in college, how Andrew Luck looked in college, where they were just absolutely magnificent mind readers, was because of just the coaching staff in Clemson. Great, uh, 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 obviously culture there. Great coach, great coaching staffs. But in terms of quarterback development, they don't have the best staff member from a quarterback coach development standpoint on their staff. And so that's where that had. And so I realized that when he got to the league and I seen that he was every bit of what I thought he was his freshman year at Clemson, I said, okay, yeah, he's a real deal. So I'm all in on Trevor Lawrence, and I'm a fan. And now you give him the weapons. He's building off the confidence from last year. He just learned a new offense last year with Doug Peterson. So he had to get out of the tunnel, with that, who I love. I love what's his name? Head coach, Ohio State, head coach, Florida.
Urban Meyer.
I love Urban Meyer. I love Urban. I'm a huge Urban Meyer fan from a
Not
coach
an NFL
perspective.
coach, right? Though.
Right. Well, exactly. What he left behind, Trevor Lawrence had to mentally remove himself from that. New coaching staff comes in, new offense to learn.
That was the best thing that
New,
happened to him. That was the best thing that happened to Trevor Lawrence.
however, there's a process you have to. There's a way you have to go about that process.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a new quarterback in this league, you get a new coaching staff. You got to do everything so remedial and slow, play the long game. And even in doing that, we see the type of season he produced. So now, and he even said it, I'm in a situation now where I don't have to think about the plays. I don't have to think about the timing. I don't have to think about, where guys are supposed to be. All of that stuff is, I know it like I know the Bible. Now, all I get to focus focus on is building connections with my receivers, working on my mechanics, focusing on my mechanics. How can I make a bet? How can I fit throws in there? How can I fit throws in tight windows? Where can I ball placement? Like, so now he's actually doing what, you know, is going to make him better now as a quarterback, which is ball placement, taking chances. I mean, it's what's coming for Trevor Lawrence this season. I think is going to be absolutely outstanding. I see them, being a hot team this year for sure. Because they're still that team that's like kind of fake under the radar. Nobody wants to hedge their bet on the over that Vegas has placed them on right now. Everybody's still, let's see if Trevor Lawrence can do it again, and I'm all in, especially with the new key additions. Like Calvin really was a top 5 wide receiver. When he was when he was at the top of his game, and so I believe he's going to help that offense obviously tremendously, and so I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have them guys balling. I do believe in Mike Vrabel enough, though. With all that said, and the reason why I have the Titans in there, that he's going to be in it. The Titans don't just get like they don't lose, bro. Like they don't just lose. Titans wins games. Like we just got to get to the understanding that the Titans win games. That's what they do. And so they're in a conference to where they can do that. They can take advantage of the Houstons. They can go 2-0 versus the Houstons. Go 2-0 versus the Colts. Go 1-1 versus the Jaguars. That's 5 wins right there. And then you mean to tell me with the rest of the 11 games, all they have to do is win about 5 out of the rest of those 11 games, to have a 10-7 record and possibly sneak in there because all other divisions was beating up on each other. So it's just, that's, the best teams in the AFC are not all going to be in the playoffs.
You know
I
what's
think it's
funny
sad.
about? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, go ahead.
No, it's funny. I didn't even know this. The Jaguars are the favorites right now to win the division. I checked their win total. Vegas thinks right now, like me. They're saying that um the champion from that division, it's told the Jacksonville Jaguars win total is 9.5. So they're saying that the division winner is only going to win 10 games. That's what they're saying.
No,
Do you
no, no,
think
no, no, no.
over under for the Jaguars for the nine
Well,
and
we
a
got to.
half? What you think?
Well, I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna take the over, but that's why everybody's reluctant to buy on the Jags at the 9.5, because you have to know. Like, let's not confuse, the people here. You have to know a 9.5, and I'll get on the camera for this. A 9.5 over under is a high over under. That's not a low over or under. You know that, right?
9.5. You're saying?
I
Well, it
said
is
nine and a
now.
half
It
is not.
is now. It is now. It is now. With the extra
No,
game.
no.
Yeah, it's like 8.5. That's like 8.5. It was a 16 game schedule.
9.5 is not a low over. They probably have one of the
10 and
highest.
7
Because you
is
got
a good record now in the
think,
NFL.
think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Go look at the Jets over and under for Vegas.
It's 9.5 as
Uh,
well.
Thank you.
That's
Nine
their
and a half is high.
That's their schedule though. That's why. It's because of the division they play in.
Whatever I'm just saying. Nine and a
Yeah.
half is high. 9.5 is high. It's not easy. It's just that simple premise and understanding that it's not
They
easy
got
to
the
win games
Giants at 7.5. Yikes.
in a pretty tough division. So I mean,
Do you think? Okay, I'm gonna
yeah,
go
like
through
I
these
said,
since we're talking about the division. So over under for Jags 9.5.
over.
Over. Titans 7.5. If you had to bet.
7.5. And they
You gotta
yes, I
say
got the Titans
yes.
going
You
up.
gotta say yes because you said they're making the
Yes,
playoffs.
yes, yes. Got the Titans at least going 500. Yes.
Ooh. I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
7.5 is low.
It's
Houston,
not in the National
Houston
League,
six
but
and a half. Houston 6.5. Too much? I think 6 sounds about
I
right. I would say under. I would say 6 sounds just about right.
I would take the under on that.
Yeah, and
I would take the under on it.
the Colts are. I'm curious to see what they have the Colts at. 6.5 as well. So they're saying Houston and the Colts are like the same team. I'll definitely say under with the Colts too. Do you think the Colts win 7?
The Colts 7.
That's a
Whew, what
lot
is
of
it at
wins.
6.5?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, they got him at 6.5. Um,
That's
man, I
high.
think I'm just getting I might be bugging, but I'm just getting a really good feeling about Anthony Richardson.
I hope. I
I'm just
hope you're right. If he's good, King, he's gonna be one of the most electrifying players to ever play in the NFL. If he's that dude, it is going to be fun as hell.
it's a new reign of quarterbacks coming through the wavelength and I just got a good feeling about him. And I don't know if I got a good feeling about him like long term as much as I do like just his rookie season. You know what I mean? Like how Cam looked his rookie season where he threw for over 4,000 yards and ran for like over like 600 rushing yards, something crazy like that.
Nah, that's not
I don't.
gonna happen. But
Yeah, well, yeah,
that would be
the
crazy. That will never be replicated.
the throwing yards might not happen. Um, the throwing yards might not happen,
He's got a
but
cannon, this kid.
I do see him. I do see him rushing for 1,000 this year.
I
If the
can't wait
Colts
for the
don't
preseason to start.
hold,
They got to play him in the preseason, right? If they're not even thinking about starting him, they got to give him some time. I can't wait to see just to
well,
watch
no,
this shit.
he's he's definitely playing in the preseason. I
100%.
think we know that.
Preseason starts this weekend. I'm hyped. Let's go.
Yeah, I think safe to say he's playing in the preseason. Um, but yeah, preseason, some nice first quarters is on the horizon for us coming up, and so we're very excited about football, man. We love this sport, and we're not. There's no such thing about talking too much football, and so we're gonna keep delivering on the content with that, and so we just can't wait for y'all to join in and we all talk about it. But so. Yeah, I got a great feeling about Anthony Richardson, so I'll go ahead with that line. This season, I'm gonna go out on a limb. 6.5.
They get 7.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb. This is if you got my one hot take in for the day. Is the Colts. The Colts are going to win. Is going to go over 6.5 wins. Vegas has them at 6.5. I got them going over that. The Indianapolis
I mean,
Colts.
it's not really a hot take. The line's 6.5, so it's 50-50. Do you think they win like 8 or 9? That would be more of a hot take.
No, to
No?
me, they're that bad of a team, top to bottom. That to me, 6.5 is a hot take for me. That's hot
Okay.
enough. I'll take that.
That's funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. Ranked. We're gonna say Anthony Richardson is the starter. Okay.
Yeah,
We're gonna assume Anthony Richardson is the starter. Let's rank the quarterbacks.
man. I guess another hot take was right around the corner. I forgot we were going to rank the quarterbacks, and so in doing these rankings, you're about to get a hot take from me. Trevor Lawrence is number 1.
I don't think that's a hot
That's
take. I agree. I
that's
agree with you.
that's not the hot take.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
not the hot take.
Okay.
Anthony Richardson, I have at 2
That's crazy.
over the veteran Ryan Tannehill.
And the number 2 overall draft pick
Over
as well.
over
That's
the
crazy.
young F. over the young cat CJ Stroud. I
Man,
have Anthony
I
Rizzo.
wish we had viewers for this because that is crazy.
I don't think so. When you really consider, man, this kid runs a what? A 4 what? This kid is about to legit, put it like this. If the Colts use him for what they drafted him for, don't play around with it. Don't even, right out the gate, don't concern yourselves with injuries, and right out the gate, run his ass. Period. If they do that, if right out the gate they make his legs from day one, use his legs as a threat from day one, he is going to have a better season, in my opinion, I'm predicting, than Ryan Tannehill. And so that's where I'm going with that one. That's where I'm going with that one.
I disagree wholeheartedly. Who you got the last two? Tannehill and then Stroud? Or are you putting Tannehill
Yeah,
last?
I'm gonna go with Tannehill over Stroud, just because I know you love Stroud. But for some reason, I have a bad feeling about Stroud.
Why?
I don't know if I have a bad feeling about him long term. Just short term, I guess I have a bad feeling about him. I just don't think he's ready. I'll just say it just like that. I just don't feel like he's ready.
I think he's
You
the
know?
most ready out of all the quarterbacks drafted.
Yeah, we that's where we differ. I don't think he's ready.
I've seen enough of him in college to think he is. I just love his style. He's always looking down the field. He plays he's never looking to really take off first. He's always looking downfield, and that's what you want as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but what I'm saying is those reads at Ohio State is not the hardest reads in the world. And when you have the best wide receivers, that you're throwing the football to, it does make
No, the game is a
easy.
lot slower. The game is a lot slower. Those reads close up quick in the NFL.
Oh, oh shoot.
What
On the
happened?
move. No, nothing. I'm just on the move. Got a coaches meeting in about 40 minutes. So on the move, but still here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Who's it for? Yeah. So yeah, I just think he's the most. I just think when yes, like you said, he is a quarterback who prides himself on going through his progression. That is a fact. But I don't think he's, put it like this. I'll just this simple. The reads at Ohio State aren't high level reads. And do you agree or disagree with that?
I wouldn't say. I think you're right. It's not the same game. The reads close up way faster than the NFL. The
Right.
players are much faster. It's not like you're gonna get a guy on an out route and he's gonna be open for 5 seconds. No, the cornerback's
Right.
gonna get there within a second. The ball has to be perfect. So like the game is different. The game is a lot quicker. Reads that
Right.
normally look there in college may still look like they're there, but linebackers are gonna get to the middle quicker. Like if somebody's on a slant route and he looks open, linebackers react to it quicker. They move quicker. They're more laterally
Right.
quick. That's
And
the
and,
main
and, and,
difference.
and you know what that does? That process as a quarterback from the perspective of, man, I thought I've been doing this quarterbacking thing right my entire life. I have to make an adjustment now because every team is Alabama times two. Like every team is Alabama times two in the NFL. And now what once worked for me in the past is now becoming, something that's no longer something I could rely on. And so, to me, a guy like that, and where we agree, is that he loves to keep his eyes down the field. He loves to go through the entirety of his progression, and he can make any throw. Where we disagree is that process to becoming the type of quarterback he wants to ultimately be in this league. I believe he's not going to take any shortcuts in doing that. I believe he's actually going to allow himself to go through the growing pains of growing as a player, and I just think it's going to take some time. I just think it's going to take some time. I'm not saying he's going to have a horrible year. He's going to have the type of year that says, okay, we got somebody. We might have our guy. He's going to have that kind of who they have playing quarterback franchise. Um, um, let me. We might got to clip this, Gator, because I'm in an Uber on the way to my meeting, streaming the show. We're live right now on YouTube, and I'm in an Uber and talking. We're talking quarterbacks right now in the AFC South, and my Uber driver asks, "Quarterback are you talking about?" So I'm like, "C.J. Stroud." So that's pretty dope, and that's what we're doing in the. And can you say hello to the people real quick? Just throw a deuce up if you will. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And that's what we're doing. We're opening up the sports world. We're connecting the sports world together. Everybody that's on is always some is from wherever came in, popped in the video to talk sports with us. And so that was just a raw. Um, but yeah, no, I like I said, I just with that. Like I think they're gonna feel good at the end of the year about who they have at quarterback in Houston. But what do you think? Like, how do you think he's gonna play this year?
I think I'm gonna. So for my rankings, I'm gonna put. I'll talk about CJ Stroud. But I'll just do the rankings real quick. So I'm gonna put Anthony Richardson at 4, CJ Stroud at 3, Tannehill, Trevor Lawrence. I'm just saying that's a really basic. I think that's a really safe rating. But for CJ Stroud and specifically, I just love. There was something about. I watch a lot of college sports, and I watch these players, these especially these quarterbacks on these schools look to take off first. It's their first read. They go through their first couple reads, it's not there, they're out because they know it's a college game. They know what they can do on their legs. For some reason, this kid, I literally watched games where like he could have ran for 30 yards, stayed in the pocket, stayed in the pocket, stayed in the pocket, went through every read, went through the reads again. Looked at He's so poised in the pocket, it's scary. As a young player, that is going to translate so well into the NFL. That's what they look
Or it's
for.
gonna be a huge wake up call
It might.
because you just sitting there
It
in
might.
the NFL just waiting to
It
be
might.
smashed on.
No, but like
Because the time,
he's
because I agree with you. The time he had in the pocket in Ohio State, that in half right now. Do we agree there?
no, yeah, he's not. But what I'm saying is I like the way he progresses in the pocket because there's two different things and I heard this the other
I
day.
don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I
There
like how
is. I'll
Bryce
tell
Young
you. I'll tell you
progresses in
one
the pocket
second.
a little
Oh,
better.
okay. That's fair. But
But go ahead.
what I was gonna say is for the people who don't understand what that means. What I mean is Tom Brady is not the most mobile guy at all, but he is one of the
Right. Yeah, I know
best.
what you meant.
He's one of the best pocket presence quarterbacks in the
Pocket
league.
awareness.
Pocket. He
Yeah.
knows where to
Yep.
roll, when to move up. I really like that about C.J.
Absolutely.
Stroud, and that's why I
And
think he's going to
I don't
be
think that's in CJ Stroud's game right now.
okay.
We
That's
disagree
fair.
that I don't know if,
That's
if
fair.
it's like you're already putting it at like some type of elite level
Hey,
of
I can't
pocket
wait for the
awareness,
preseason.
instincts.
I can't wait for this
Okay.
preseason shit.
I
We need
mean, don't
Saturday to come.
do that.
Oh, when do they play? When do they
He's
play?
probably he's probably going to look good in the preseason. We got to understand Sam Bradford when he was playing with the Eagles, under Chip Kelly.
No,
looked
I understand
absolute. I don't
that.
know if
I
you remember this.
understand that.
He looked
I understand that.
absolutely amazing in the preseason. We thought Sam Bradford was back. We thought he was
Hey,
going to be the number
hey,
one
it
pick of
works
the
both ways. It
and
works both
so
ways.
let's so even if he does do well, let's
I'm not. Nah,
temper,
I'm gonna be
you
hype. Oh,
know,
they play
the
Thursday. King, they play Thursday. We don't
oh,
even
they,
got a week to the weekend. They play the Patriots on Thursday
okay.
night. So we'll have a
Okay. Oh, he
we'll
plays
have
against.
some
Oh, his first
conversation
test is
on
against.
Friday.
His first test is against Bill Belichick. So let me just pre. Let me just tell everybody how that's going to go. His first test is against Bill. I'm assuming. I'm right before our show on Friday. Right. I'm gonna just put this out there now because they won't see us again. We won't be back until Friday. He's going to struggle on Thursday. Either I'll have edit or I'll be right. He's going to struggle Thursday against Bill Belichick.
Okay, we'll see. I'm excited. We'll have a topic. We'll be able to talk about it even more in detail on Friday after we see
Absolutely,
the highlights. So,
absolutely, absolutely, and that that just preseason games, especially when they're playing starters, just breeds more topics and more discussions that we can have. So yeah, we're excited that the season is upon us.
yeah, okay. So we got through those topics. The first main topic about the division is, can the Titans get back to the AFC title game? Do you see a way where they make a run? You know, they got a similar offense to those title runs. You swap AJ Brown for D Hop, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yep.
they they got Derrick Henry still. Ryan Tannehill's still the quarterback. They have a really he needs to take another leap, but their rookie from last year that they picked up in the first round. What's his name?
Oh,
What's Traylon
oh, okay.
Burks?
I know you're talking
Traylon
about.
Burks. Traylon
Uh-huh.
Burks. So they got
Yeah.
an offense. Could they do it with Mike
Hey,
Vrabel's defense? Can they get back to championship ways or playoff ways, doing well in the playoffs, winning playoff games, and getting back to the AFC championship game with how stacked that AFC is right now? Is it possible? You want me to start? Or you want to go with
let's.
that?
I mean, you can start. I mean, I feel hot right now, so let me.
I'ma say no,
Okay.
no freaking way is that happening. The AFC is too good. Ryan Tannehill is way beyond his years now. I don't care who's coaching that team. D Hop is getting up there in age. Derrick Henry's getting up there in age. If they win the NFC, maybe. Maybe. I don't even got them winning the division. I don't even got them making the playoffs. How can I sit here and say that they can get back to the AFC title game? I'm gonna be hard on them. I would not be I think they have a better shot finishing last in the division than getting to the AFC title
What?
game. Then get
Oh,
well, if I compare
right.
the two.
Come on. That's a hot take. You want to
I
flip
think it's a
something?
hot
Flip that
take.
dumb
I think
take.
it's a hot take that we can sit here and say they can make it to the AFC title game. I think that's a hot take. So I'm saying, if I was a betting man, I
I
would
mean, but no, but you saying they have a better chance finishing last in the
then getting to
division
the
in
AFC
their
title.
own division
Yes, then getting to the
than
AFC title.
going to the AFC title game.
I could see CJ
That's
Stroud. I could see
disrespectful.
CJ.
That's so disrespectful.
I could see CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson winning 4 games on them.
Okay, okay, okay. Um, so the answer is clearly yes. Like, is this still the NFL, or is this now all of a sudden the National Hockey League, or is this the National Basketball Association, or like, is this still the NFL where, you know, the team with the better record, no matter, if you got another team in another division, with one game less than you, if, they're the better team, so what? They didn't make it because you had the better record. So what? That you're in a weaker division. Is this still that NFL? Is this still the NFL where in the playoff it's one game to move on, one game to elimination? Is it still that league? Because if it's still that league, you couple that with Mike Vrabel at the helm, with, in my opinion, Derrick Henry is still at the top of his game. I'm sorry, he's not. The juice he didn't run out of juice yet. He still got juice in him. He's still hungry. He's still stamping his career in trying to move up that ladder of all-time running back greats. He's still isn't ready to play. Ryan Tannehill is not awesome, but he's competent, and he's going to lead all the way that you know it's like
I think you're just in a bad spot, King. You're like breaking up a lot now, right now, at least right now.
in a competent fashion. It seems that he needs to. Oh, okay. Are you able to hear me?
It's better now. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it's a little better. So, yeah, when you look at Ryan Tannehill, who's always been able to move the ball in the regular season with no problem. Honestly, he's always been it with as long as Derrick Henry been behind him, he's really had no issues moving the football. Excuse me. And so when you couple that with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, with the emergence of Treylon Burks, and obviously that defense is going to play fast. They're going to play powerful. They're going to play hard. That's just what they do. And they're going to stifle teams. They're going to, you know, every time a team sees the Tennessee Titans on their schedule, they're saying curse words to themselves because they
I'll agree
understand the
with
type of
that.
game
I'll
that's
agree with that.
they understand the type of game that's going to be. Like they're just like, oh my gosh, man, I gotta tackle Derrick Henry today. I gotta play one-on-one coverage with D Hop today, or I gotta play this new hungry emerging player, wide receiver. I got like this is like that's an actual game. Like you don't go into a Tennessee Titans game and think like this is a win. You don't think that. You think okay, we can lose. Yes, very easily we can lose. And so when you couple that with when you're the offense, you're thinking, man, they about to play smash mouth football. They hit hard, they play fast. Oh my gosh, I'm coming out of this game with some war wounds for sure. Like when you think about all those things, like the Titans are going to be right there in terms of one of the teams that are still in the hunt. You just know they are. Like when they pull up those teams that are in the hunt to make the playoffs, the Tennessee Titans team will be one of those names. Now, they actually make it in the playoffs. That's where it gets tricky. But it's the NFL at the end of the game. At the end of the day, it's one game elimination. You got Derrick Henry. You got that defense. Yeah, I mean, I say just off the one game elimination factor, I see the Tennessee Titans having a legitimate shot getting to the AFC championship game. Yes, I do. No other team, no team in the AFC, no team in the AFC besides the Chiefs and the Bills, I'll say, really puts like insane fear in my heart, though they are very, very good. Like when we think about the AFC and why we understand that they're so stacked, it's because of the personnel. Like, you know what I mean? When we look at the players, like the players are awesome. The talent that's over here in the AFC is incredible. But when you talk about like what football means, what it actually means, to inflict fear on your opponent, to play smash mouth football, none of those teams do that for me. None of those teams make me feel like I should be actually like if they matched up against the Tennessee Titans in the playoffs and lost, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, what happened? That's one of the biggest upsets in NFL history that the Bengals or the Ravens lost to the Tennessee Titans in the
I'll
play.
tell you one
But
thing:
like, I'm not gonna be sitting there acting like that.
if the Titans make the AFC
It's the
title
next one.
game, if the
No, not sorry. Keep going straight.
if the
Go
Titans
ahead.
make
Go
the
ahead. Get it.
AFC title game, that would be one of the most surprising things in recent NFL
It
history.
really, it really wouldn't though. When you
Telling you,
understand when you understand the nature of the NFL, yes, this one I'll tell you where to go. When you understand the nature of the NFL, it just wouldn't be. Who did we have in the title game? Just like when you think about when Bengals made it, left here. Sorry,
that wasn't a
yeah.
surprise.
When
That wasn't a
that
surprise.
whoa when the Bengals made the Super Bowl that season, that was absolutely
I
a
don't think that
surprise.
was a
You talking about
surprise.
going straight?
They were
No,
good the
see,
whole year.
and we just definitely disagree on
They were good
on
the
what
whole
is a
year.
they, but nobody had them going to the Super Bowl. Make a left here. Nobody had them going to the Super Bowl. The only person that
No
had
one
them going
had
to the
them
Super
beating the.
Bowl,
No one had them beating the Chiefs.
no one had them going to the Super. Make it right here. Sorry, I'm talking to my Uber driver while doing the show, but
You're good.
nobody had them. Nobody had them going to the like. Then we definitely disagree on just the nature of what where people had the Bengals in their minds prior to the season, and even throughout the season. Yeah, just go to the end of the line there.
That was
That's where I'm
after.
going.
That was a year
But
after
so
Joe Burrow's injury. That was crazy, actually.
right, exactly, bro. Nobody had those guys. Nobody had those guys. It's perfect. Nobody
They
had
did
those
get
guys.
Jamar
And
Chase
so
though. They did get Jamar
yeah,
Chase.
but he was a rookie though. My guy, big homie, was good. But he was a rookie though. We gotta understand that. He was a rookie. He what like bro, like you gotta like seriously. Nobody had the Bengals. Like the Bengals going to the Super Bowl was one of those kinds of like team like for you not to acknowledge that is insane to me. And I think it's because of the recency of the Bengals that you're like strung hold on what they were going into that season a few years ago. But they were
I
like
wouldn't say they were on
nobody.
the same level of conversation as the Titans now.
Yeah, they
I
they
think
were
they're.
worse. Put it
I
like
think
this.
that. Ooh,
This let's
I
understand. Let's
don't know about
understand
that.
something. Let's understand something. Let's understand something. And we gotta if we want to look back on it, we can. The Titans are the way we view the Titans right now. Nobody had that energy toward the Bengals prior to that season. Nobody was sitting there like the Bengals. Oh, they're gonna be right there, bro. Before that,
You're
they
right.
were
You're right.
first of
You're
all they
right.
got Burrow because they sucked. Man, they sucked every
They
single
got
year.
Jamar Chase
Like,
because they suck. You're right. You're right.
like we view the Titans with much more respect going into the season than we did that Bengals
You're
team
right. You're
going
right.
into that Super Bowl
You're
run
right.
season. And it happens in the NFL all the time. I hate when we
No,
get
there's always a
surprised when
team
these
that gets
things happen.
surprised.
I
There's
hate when
always
we
a
get
team that
surprised
surprises
when
everybody.
these things happen. Like I truly hate it. I truly hate
No
that
one
we
expected the
always forget
Niners
the
to go to the
nature
Super Bowl
of
that
the
year.
NFL.
Same thing with the
Yeah, I
Niners.
hate
The year the Niners went to the Super Bowl, nobody
that the
expected
year the
that.
Niners went. The respect was not there. I hate when we forget the nature of the NFL. I truly do. Like that is why we love it so much, actually. Like, so it's just like it's frustrating. But I get it. We like to just focus on the really good teams, the teams that are eye popping, the teams that are most obvious, the teams that are most notable. And then every year we make that mistake, and then every year it's a team that's straddling on in the playoffs, making noise. So we'll see.
What can we expect from the Colts, King?
Um,
What can we
Look, I'll
just
just
general?
leave it at I had them at 6.5, over 6.5, because I just got a good feeling about about this rookie this season. Hey, how y'all doing? Good, good. I got a good feeling about this rookie this season. So yeah, I got him over 6.5. After you. I got him over 6.5. I got him over 6.5. That I mean, defensively, I don't know that coach enough. I don't know his coaching tree enough. Like to know his coaching style, get a good beat on him. I haven't done any studying on this coaching staff in depthly enough, and that's my fault coming to this topic unprepared. But I just don't know
They got
other
to do
than what
better
I
than
know about.
last year, right? They only won 4 games last year. They have to be better than last year, right?
I
Could
don't
they
want to
be
say have
worse?
to. I don't want to say have to. They definitely could be worse. I mean, Anthony Richardson could be every bit of a bust that, like his like he's a true boomer bust, at like, player. Like he truly is a boomer, but like his floor is as low as the concrete and his ceiling is as high as, you know, the sky. Like it's no limit. And so if he's that, then that's very possible. And even if he's not a bust, it's hard to win football games in the National Football Leagues, and especially for a rookie. So even if he's not a bust, like for a rookie to, not be able to, come up with 4 wins I wouldn't be shocked at all. You know, I could see him having a successful season from the perspective of, oh, we want to stick with him and still only having won only 3 or 4 games. But I got them winning more than that though. I got them winning more than that. Just off his legs alone, I think he'll win 4 games off his legs alone. Like 4 or 5, 6 games off his legs alone. Because it's just hard to just hard to stop. And I think his arm is underrated enough to where when he's causing so much havoc with his legs, it's going to open things up for players to where those throws become easier to make, which would mean that his accuracy problems wouldn't be, so prevalent in those moments. It won't show up in those moments when he sees those easy throws to make, and so that's, I'll go with, that they're going to have a solid season and a promising future type season.
If Anthony Richardson plays well, can they make the playoffs? Or is that a tall task for their first year?
Very tall task. I'm not even going to play around with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's say
tall task. Really good.
Let's say CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson play on the same level and they're both studs their rookie season. Which team would you say has a better shot to make the playoffs out of those two?
Repeat the question.
If let's say Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud are studs, we are who we expected them to be, and they're winning, and they do win games. Which team you think out of those two rosters and those two organizations can make the playoffs out of, like, let's say they both play well? Do you like Houston better?
I'll go with Houston then. I'll go with Houston because if CJ Stroud plays to his potential, then we're in a situation where that offense is potent now. We're in a situation where that offense is moving, it's productive. And then when you couple that with the head coach that they just hired, who's his specialty is defense, and so we're assuming that Houston's defense is going to, for sure this season, when you talk about Devin Singletary, who they got out of LSU, and then when you talk about Anderson, who they just got out of Bama, and with the pieces that they already have there, they do have a couple defensive pieces there already. With his philosophy, I'm expecting them to be a hard-nosed hitting football team. I'm expecting them to play fast. I'm expecting them to do a lot of the right things fundamentally and schematically. And so I see that defense being really good. And so if behind that you could get a competent offense, then I could see Houston. I could see Houston. I'm just thinking about Anthony Richardson's potential, man, and if it comes through, man, because if it
I can't wait. Yeah, I just can't. This podcast sucks sometimes. This podcast sucks sometimes because I get too excited for the NFL season. I'm too amped up right now. It's Monday night. I should not be feeling this way. Not yet. It's Monday night. We still got a month to go. This ain't right. But what do I think? You on that. The Colts. It's tough. I had them last, so I don't really expect much. It says the question is, what can we expect out of the Colts? I just don't expect much. I think they're gonna be one of the worst teams in football. I think they're gonna have a weird. I actually think they have the potential to get the number 1 pick next year, and may have to make a decision what to do with either draft Caleb Williams or keep Anthony Richardson. I think they're going to start the season with Gardner Minshew. I think they're going to lose some games, go over to Anthony Richardson. I think he's going to get better and better as the season goes along. I think he's going to get better. I just don't think him getting better is going to equate to wins, because you could see potential in, like Justin Fields. We saw him play very well at the end of last year and throughout the year, but they just didn't equate to wins, So it still depends on how good the football team is for the young quarterbacks. They can't just... Unless you're like Patrick Mahomes, you can't just turn a franchise around like that unless you're one of those like God-tiered people. The ones that literally
Mm-hmm.
just like the Tom Brady's, the Aaron Rodgers, the Patrick Mahomes. I don't expect
Mm-hmm.
that from Anthony Richardson right away, you know? So I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm not saying that Anthony Richardson's going to be the reason why they are losing, but I'm saying I don't know if his skill set alone in year one is going to pile up wins. So I think they
Mm-hmm.
still could potentially have a top 3 draft pick, and if they get, God
Mm-hmm.
forbid, they get that number 1 pick, what do they do? Oh, it's going
Oh,
to
they move
be.
on. They move on. What do you mean? What do they? I
What
didn't
if
even be like. Just no
if
disrespect to Anthony Richardson, but you
what
gotta
if he's
sometimes in life.
playing
It's
good
easier to go.
ball? What if he's
But
playing
look,
good ball?
life is about going for what the for sure over
You
the
think Caleb Williams is the for sure?
at what?
Oh,
Is this even a conversation?
yeah.
And with that said, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it right there. Under Big Dog Nation, I have a coaches meeting, and I love the essence of the show because I was vibing from my crib all the way to my meeting, and so that's what I just love that I'm able to talk sports on the go, man. Gator, I can't believe we opened up, the window. I can't believe we connected the sports world together to be able to do things like this. This is awesome. And so I have my coaches meeting. I'm gonna go in there, Gator, finish the show, bring up the topics,
You
give
know
your
what? We
takes,
only have
get
one
those
more
clips.
topic. I'm gonna finish that
So,
last topic.
finish.
One of
Yeah.
the topics was CJ Stroud, the real deal. We talked about him a lot, so I don't even need to go over that. The
Okay.
last topic is the Jags Super Bowl contenders. I'll let you go. Just say yes or
Ooh,
no, yes or no, and
you're
leave.
annoying. You're annoying for
That's
that.
I know it was a good
Uh,
topic. I'll go. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna wrap up the show after that.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. Trevor Lawrence. I don't. I could see them getting far, and then you playing against them in a big game. I'm gonna say no. Thank you,
Okay.
on the big dogs. Until next time, Friday. I see you get it. Close it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna close it out right now.
What
Later.
do you say before I go? What do you say?
I'm gonna say yes.
Oh wow, and I'm out. I'm
And
out
you
on
could
that.
watch it back later if you want to see
Yeah, I
the tape.
will. I
You can
will.
make a social media take. All right. This is the last topic of the show anyway, so it's actually a good time to wrap. Um, we will be back live again on Friday at 7:30, but I'm gonna say yes, simply for the fact that they made a run last year and they got their first taste of playoff experience, and they played the Chiefs in Arrowhead pretty well. You know, they had that miraculous comeback against the Titans. Um, was that the Titans? They played the Titans, right, in the playoffs? Who'd they come back? Oh no, the Chargers. I'm sorry. It was the Chargers, who was a very good football team. So Jacksonville got that playoff experience I think they desperately needed last year. They couldn't get it done against the Chiefs. Yeah, and Patrick Mahomes even had a bad leg that game, and they still couldn't pull it off. But just the fact that it looks like they're finding what the Jaguars are finding ways to win now, like they didn't in the past. Trevor Lawrence and that team only got better, like roster wise, they got better than they were last year. So I think they can make the AFC title game. So, and if I believe that they can make the AFC title game, I would have to say I think they're contenders. I think they can easily get past the wild card round because they've done it already. They've done it already, so there's no reason for me to believe they can't do it again with a better roster. The divisional round is going to be the key. Can they win again? Can they win another game against a better team? Probably on the road. If they win their division, like me and King said they would get a home playoff game. I think they get through that round. Can they win? Can Trevor Lawrence and crew win a an away playoff game against a team like the Bills, the Chiefs, the Bengals, or whoever the other division winners are? I believe they can. I believe they can. I think they got enough firepower on offense this year that they can. So I think they could score 30 on any team in the NFL. Any team in the NFL. I think that their offense is that stacked this year. They got the receivers, they got the tight end, they got the offensive line, they got the running backs. Travis Etienne had a great year, and then they added Tank uh, in the draft. So I think they can, and I think they could get to an AFC title game. They would have to win one extra divisional game to get there. I don't know if they make the Super Bowl, but are they contenders? Yes, I think they could. I think they could. this go kind of goes back to what King said earlier. You never know with the NFL. It's one game, and I think they could get to an AFC title game. I don't know who I would go with in that AFC title game. The AFC is just so stacked, man. So maybe not this year, but do I think they have the potential to? Are they a contender? Are they a contender? Yes, they are. So that's what I'm gonna leave it there. I'll try to get King's take. Maybe we'll post it on social media or something. Why he says no. But yeah, so that's the show. We're gonna cut a little short today. Um, we're trying to keep it on time for the 7:30 normally, so we're gonna end it there. We'll be back Friday at 7:30 again. Some we might have to start the show sometimes a little earlier, but for right now, we're keeping it at 7:30. If there is any changes, social medias will be updated. So we will see you Friday. King will be there probably the whole show this time. But we got through all the topics anyway, so we're good to go. The only other topic we had was which one was it? Is CJ Stroud the real deal? But when he was in the Uber, we talked about CJ Stroud a lot. So I think he is. King said no. So yeah, follow the socials if you want to join the conversation. Anybody in chat, just join our Discord and join in. All right. We'll see you Friday at 7:30. Later.